Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners and now even our clients most weekday mornings, 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Today, we're going to have a very practical training, something that you can take away from today, implement, and generate a really good income on a very part-time basis. But let's first talk about what makes businesses work, regardless if you're a plumber or a mechanic or an accountant or an attorney, or if you run a restaurant. How do businesses work? Well, you offer something to a customer and the customer pays you. So in general, you offer something of value that the customer says that's more valuable to them than the money they're giving up. So Domino's Pizza, $7.99 medium cheese pizza. So they sell the pizza. Is the pizza free? No. Should the pizza be free? I guess people could argue that, but Domino's would say no. But if you feel that the value of that medium cheese pizza is worth more than $7.99, then you give Domino's your $7.99 and you walk out, or they deliver, a cheese pizza. So that's how business works, right? You offer a good or a service that has some value that you could argue solves some problem of the client. Person's hungry for pizza in that example. So we all have to start with, it's okay to sell things. We have some of our distribution partners, it's like they're walking on eggshells. Oh my goodness, the client would have to pay something? Well, hell yeah, that's how commerce works, right? People pay for things all the time. Today, you'll probably pay for some things. So with that being said, we're going to apply that very basic concept of business to your branch, and we're going to solve people's problems through the Startup Business Funding Package. So I'll briefly go through what that is and how we solve clients' problems. We'll then pivot to how you make money from it, which is important. Otherwise, it would be a hobby. It wouldn't be worth your time. And then we're going to give some very practical information on who we probably should be offering that to and how to do it. So we literally can increase your income. Okay, so let's start. So the Startup Business Funding Package, we've talked about this before, so nothing's changed. It's not an update, it's just a revisitation, and then some very practical guidance on how to implement. So the Startup Business Funding Package is, as the flyer says, a turnkey resource to form a new business position for fast funding. Each of you should have this flyer. If you don't have it, let us know, and we will get you this flyer. You obviously would edit this flyer down in the bottom orange box so it has your call to action. Maybe you want them to call you. Maybe you want them to text you. Maybe you want them to email you. Maybe you have a website you want them to go to. It doesn't really matter what the call to action is, but just obviously you would be changing what's in this orange box so they're contacting you, not us. Make sense? So with the Startup Business Funding Package, we ask, well, who should participate? This is designed for entrepreneurs looking to form a new business that is well positioned for fast funding. That's who would benefit. Now, so they could either be an entrepreneur that doesn't yet have a business, or they in fact could be an entrepreneur that has one or more businesses, but they're looking for a new one that's set up properly for fast funding. So do we rule out someone that already has a business? No. That doesn't mean that they couldn't benefit from the package if that business is not positioned for fast funding. Follow? All right, so there is a participation fee. And again, if you're skittish, if your personality is skittish of offering something of value for a fee, you're probably in the wrong field, right? You can't even go to the doctor. You got a sore throat. Do they charge you to go to the doctor? Of course. In a capitalistic society, there are fees. Now, the fees need to be fair. They need to be understood. They need to be agreed upon. We're all together on that. But we like to go ahead and let people know, yes, this is not free. There is a fee for this. Most things in life cost money. But while there is an enrollment fee, we are immediately giving them more value than what they paid for. So there's a whole value proposition that we'll go through. It's under the what is included. But separate from even getting to that list of what's included, we're going to immediately give them $10,000 of value once they have given you, your branch, $2,500. So they're getting 4 times the value immediately, or nearly immediately. So we would argue that we're actually paying them to participate. They're not paying to participate. And we'll break that down, what that means in a moment. So reading on through the flyer, just so we're all clear with the proposition. The Startup Business Funding Package provides an affordable and effective solution for early stage businesses to meet important credibility factors to access capital. Then we pause and we explain what that means, because what you and I know is throughout our experiences together, financial literacy is needed, and it's often the bridge from bringing a prospect, from being a prospect to a client, because often they don't know, or they need to be reminded of what it takes to get funding. There's no shortage of entrepreneurs that want and maybe even need funding. There's a wide open field, but a lot of them don't know how to get from here to there. And that's really what you and I do through your branch, is help people become qualified. So that's where we pivot the conversation to. So we introduced that there are credibility factors to access capital. Now we're going to educate them on what those are. Well, first of all, and you and I know this, but obviously not everyone does. If you want business funding, the most foundational, fundamental first element is your business address. Do you have a unique commercial business address? If you have a post office box, that's a red X. If you are using a residential address, that's a red X. If you have some sort of shared office through Regis or WeWork, that's a red X. It doesn't meet the underwriting criteria in most cases. So that's where we need to start, is having a unique, legitimate commercial address. Well, guess what? That's what you and I are providing the customers, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right now, we're not selling. We're just explaining, what does it take to have a credible business to get business funding? First on that list is highlighted here, a legitimate commercial business address. This is going to tie to our target market we're going to get to in a moment over on the right-hand side of the screen, but we'll get to that in a moment. What else is an important credibility factor to access capital for business funding? A strong business credit profile. So can you just, I know this is repetitive, but I want to go back to, can I just want money for my business? Can I just need money for my business? Well, you could, but you need to qualify for money for your business. Part of that is a commercial address. We've covered that. But also the business needs to look credible. It's analogous to if you just turned 18, so you have a clean credit profile, nothing negative, but nothing positive. Do you have much borrowing capacity the day you turned 18? No. Does a business without an established credit profile have much borrowing capacity? No. And so obviously we're going to resolve that when we get over to the right-hand side, but we're educating them. What do you need to have a fundable business? A legitimate commercial business address, also a strong business credit profile, and credible financials. What does credible financials mean? It demonstrates liquidity and collateral. Almost every day, I love working with each of you and all of you, but almost every day I'll have one of you that come to me with just a fatal misunderstanding about business finance. They'll say, oh, my clients knew they don't have financials. That is a bullshit excuse. You can have a brand new business, but they need to have credible financials. That's what you and I do. So please, please, please don't fall under this veil of ignorance to say, oh, it's a new business, they can't look credible on paper. That is ridiculous. And that's wrong. And that's going to keep your clients from getting funded if you fall into that trap. So then we explain in this flyer what the prospect's going to get. Once they enroll, we're going to give them a unique business address, and then we're going to form their business with the Secretary of State. and they don't have to pay for that. Through the U.S. Startup Grant, we'll immediately transfer $10,000 to post to your balance sheet, creating collateral and liquidity for your new business. Next, we'll help you liquidate the $10,000 of receivables through factoring and or other proven strategies. So there's the verbiage, and then we get over to the right-hand side, which is a nice bulleted list of what they get. So this is straightforward. It is straightforward. It tells them exactly what they're going to get. What are they going to get? For free, they're going to get a unique business address, not a shared virtual office. For free, we're going to file their business with the Secretary of State and help them get their EIN. For free, we're going to give them assistance in building their business credit and get up to $250,000 in business credit. We're going to also transfer those $10,000 in assets that we made reference to earlier. So let's dig a bit deeper. So what does that mean? Well, we just covered that you are not going to allow yourself, and you promise to not allow your clients to think that a new business has to look weak on paper. That's untrue. So what we're going to do is literally transfer assets legally and ethically. We're going to transfer assets onto your client's financial statements, their balance sheet. So now they have collateral, and we can turn around and help them liquidate that collateral. So we're going to transfer receivables over to them. Now, the icing on the cake is here in, I don't know if it's orange or red, but here at the bottom, we'll call it orange. So we're going to also provide them for free geographic access to the Chapman Fund. It's like, whoa, what's this Chapman Fund? I don't know what that means. That sounds weird. Is that like chapstick? No, the Chapman Fund is from a taxing authority. So that means we don't have to go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Regions Bank. We're able to go through a taxing authority and get up to $250,000 to start or grow a business. Now, taxing authorities, as you might infer, is from a taxing district. So the only way that we can access the Chapman Fund is to have a business in that taxing district. Well, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but guess what? We're going to provide a unique business address in the taxing district of the Chapman Fund, so these clients qualify geographically. I was talking to a really smart guy. He and I guess his wife are branch owners. And I was talking to them earlier, and his office is in Florida. So he's like, well, do I qualify? Obviously, it's my fault, not his. No, because the Chapman Fund is from a taxing district. Now, you can live wherever you want in the United States, but we need your business to be in the taxing district of the Chapman Fund, or they're not going to get you the money because it comes from the taxes of that geographic area. The great thing about the Chapman Fund is it can be used for fixed assets, new construction, renovations, leased property, equipment, inventory, and working capital. Now, some people get mad at me, and I've probably a few of you have been mad at me because I say, well, great, we can go after the Chapman Fund for you or for your client, but the max is $250,000. People just get so pissed off. It's like, no, I need more. Well, that's fine. We can get more, but the Chapman Fund caps out at $250,000. So the $250,000 would be the first tranche, and then we could layer on additional sources of capital on top of it. And that's what this bullet is talking about. So this is the flyer that each of you should have. If you don't have the flyer, let us know, and I'll get it to you. With the flyer, what are you going to do? Well, you can make the changes that you want to make, but obviously, minimally, you need to make changes to the call to action at the bottom. So what do we have now? So we have a resource, an offering that you and I can offer to people to help them get funding. That's good. I think that's very good. And it's unique in the marketplace how it's packaged. Does it cost money? It does. It's not free. We don't live in a free society. It's not free, but it's a great value. They'll pay $2,500 to you, to your branch. You keep half. Your profit margin is 50%, and we do all the work. 50% profit margins. In other words, you net $1,250. That's what you put in your pocket or in your purse or in your bank account or under your mattress or in your coffee can. That's your net. If you know, and you do, so I'm not being demeaning, but if you know anything about business, a 50% commission, a 50% profit margin is exceptional, especially when you don't have to do any of the work, because we'll take care of fulfilling all the services. That's outstanding. Now, what if they don't have the 2,500? Well, you do have some flexibility in pricing. We know we need our half to cover our hard costs. This isn't a profit center for us, but we need our half to cover our costs. So we need our $1,250. So if you want to discount it to a client, you can discount it. If you discounted it below $1,250, $1,250, now we got a problem, because now it's called a subsidy. Now you're paying for their shortfall. Wouldn't recommend it, but you could do that. Okay, so hopefully we all are in agreement. Here's a resource. It's innovative. It's needed. It's valuable. But the question becomes, who are we going to offer it to, and how are we going to offer them it? That's our next part of the conversation. So if we go to the right-hand side, and I'm not a representative for Data, Axle, Sales Genie, and there are other resources. I'm just pointing out what we've used successfully. But if you want to use a different leads list, you go for it. But the bottom line is, you can go to Data, Axle, Sales Genie. You can get a free trial. You can log in, and we've had trainings where we demonstrated logging in and doing searches. I'm not going to do that today. But the bottom line is, you can search for what? New home-based businesses. That's your target audience. That doesn't mean it can only be offered to them, but new home-based businesses is the ripest audience. Someone has come up with an idea, and they've either formed a DBA or LLC, C Corp or S Corp, and they use their home address. And you might say, well, how would I know who they are? That's the function of the database. You can go in there, you can get your free trial, and you can run queries on whatever geographic area you want of the United States. You can filter on that, and you can filter on new start home-based businesses. Now, you could even expand it to even existing home-based businesses, but the ripest are brand new home-based new businesses, and they're all in this database that Data Axle manages, and you can go get a free trial. So now we've covered the what, and then we've identified also the target audience. What's missing? Well, how are you going to reach out to them? You could do it a number of different ways. Here's what I would recommend you at least considering. Next page, use DocuPost. A number of you have done this extraordinarily well. So you can take these flyers. You might say, oh, Tom, I don't have a color laser printer. What's it going to cost me to print these damn flyers out? What are you asking me to do, Tom? Go around, knock on doors? Absolutely not. You can take the flyer, edit it with your call to action, get your leads list here, and then you can use DocuPost, and they'll send it out for you. Now, you could send it out normal. You could send it first class, 85 cents a pop for normal. If you want to send it first class, they charge an extra 20 cents. Some of you are actually sending it certified mail, return receipt requested. So the people receive your flyer and they have to sign for it. That's pretty official, right? You know they're going to see it. That's up to you. But for what? $1? Because you're going to get the leads for free. You have the flyer for free. You don't have to even print it. DocuPost prints it and they mail it for 85 cents a pop. Well, you know you're making 1,250 profit per. So even, and I'm not suggesting you should, but even if you send it out to 1,000 people, 1,000 new home-based small businesses, and even if only one enrolled, 1 out of 1,000, it would be profitable for you, because 1,000 times 85 cents is $850. Now, you don't have to send it to 1,000. Don't take these examples for you the only way to approach. But you can't fail at this. You cannot fail as a branch if you will follow this model. Offer this resource, get your leads for free. Now, you can certainly also call them or email them or text them. I'm not saying that you can't do other things, but consider mailing them your flyer. So that's the message. Now we're going to open it up for your questions and comments. John has the first. Can clients can clients finance this? The answer is yes and no. And what I mean by that is we don't finance it, but obviously through your branch, you could enroll them in the credit and funding program and we could go get them funding so they could finance it. So no, we don't internally finance it, but of course that's the business you and I are in, is helping people get funding. So if they don't even have 2,500, that's okay. Go enroll them in the credit and funding program. We'll go raise we guarantee a minimum of 100,000. So no, we don't do internal financing. Now, if you want to finance it, John, you can, right? Because you know that 50% is your profit margin. And as long as you enroll them and send us, and it's beautiful. We don't even need a contract on this. This is so straightforward. We can avoid the complexities of, well, where's the 25-page contract? I need to see the details. This is it, right? Because this describes what we do. We don't even need a contract with these individuals because it's so straightforward. It's so simple. All right, so thank you, John, for your question. Wrap up here. We try to end early on Fridays. Ken asked, could you charge more? Yeah, you can charge more if you want. You can increase the fee. We still split it 50-50 with a minimum of $1,250 to us, but that is fine. You could offer this as a standalone. You could offer it in conjunction with credit and funding. That's up to you. You can market it as you would like. Ron says, wow, powerful marketing tips. Thank you, Ron. John's asking the question yet again, and I'll explain. We don't finance this, but yes, we can help clients get financing through credit and funding through your branch. So that's the answer. Hopefully that's clear. Question about Trevor asks, how do we build business credit? Well, what we do with business credit is we use a system very similar to Credit Suite. Credit Suite is a great program. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I think very highly of that organization. But with Credit Suite, a client typically would pay more than this for just one bullet. We have a lot of Credit Suite reps come to us to sell this because A, it's more profitable, B, it's easier to sell, and it's a hell of a lot stronger value proposition. But what we do is we help clients build their business credit. We have internal staff that does it. It's not your burden, and we don't charge for it. It's free. All right, so let's see what else we have. Audrey asked, is there a performance fee? No. I mean, again, this is straightforward. This is all that's included. So no, the client would not pay a performance fee. Now, if you also have them in credit and funding, then you're getting the performance fee from the capital raise. But this program alone, notice there's no performance fee. It's not like it's hidden and they're going to be surprised. There is no performance fee. But if you want a performance fee from this client, then get them also in credit and funding. Great question. All right. Let's see what else we're missing. Okay, I think we got it. So that's our message for today. On Fridays, we try to keep it a little simpler. But what did we cover? Let's review. Startup Business Funding Program does count towards your branch production. So it does count because each of you promised to enroll at least 2 clients a week, 8 a month. These count. So that's number one to know. Secondly, it's a very reasonable price point for the value proposition. You make half. If you want to mark it up, you can. If you want to market or reduce the price, you can. We'll split it 50-50, but we need a minimum of $1,250 to cover our hard costs. We handle all the implementation. You have no implementation responsibilities. Yes, you can combine this and offer it with credit and funding if you want, or no, you don't have to. And no, we don't finance this directly. They need to pay you. They need to pay you. But if you want to finance it, you can finance it. If you want to get them in credit and funding so they get working capital to indirectly finance it, that's perfectly fine. So again, if you don't have this flyer, let us know. But this is a turnkey system that will work if you follow it. And your break even is so low because even if you're mailing these damn things out, again, if you had a 1/10 of 1% conversion, you're still profitable. Find some other sales campaign where you could have far less than 1% conversion and still be profitable. I mean, that's an amazing, because we've got a great value proposition. We know exactly who our target audience is and how to reach them. And your break even is far less than 1%. You can't beat it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you back on Monday morning, 8 a.m. Central. Bye-bye.